Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you're at. And I'm here to do a crypto update, what has happened over the last day or so, and what is possible to come. As we can see, we have dropped in the last 3 days to roughly about 29,000. And then in the last 12 hours or so, as everybody was suspecting a drop, and so was I. But the market makers decided to actually take it up, which honestly it was making sense, especially this right here, this build up right here on a 15-minute chart was actually showing ahead. But be honest, I was kind of ready for the drop breakthrough to the 28, so we can actually see what happens at 28,000. So partially my feelings were overtaken with emotions because emotions wanted to get to the end of all this if hopefully possible. So instead of listening to my feelings, I kind of went with my emotions. Was I in a trade? Yes, I was in a trade in short. And when it broke two and started going up, I had it to sell, take loss, and reverse. And honestly, as we worked our way up, I recovered my loss. So end of the day, I broke even, which on this kind of a run, it would have been nice to actually put that in the pocket instead of breaking even or pocket of my client. So where do we actually stand here? So we have came up, we reversed and went up, and we came up right now to roughly almost trying to break through 32,000. We are having that resistance here. Is it possibly we can break through? If we do, um, we probably going to come back and try to break through 33,000, which will force this band slightly to start expanding. And I'll need to readjust in that case, because if it breaks through, there is a possibility of the 30 coming back to 33 and bouncing back from 33 going down. What is more likely to happen? Most likely to happen is this going to round off into a nice head. Not sure how long, because as we can see, it already started trying to break through, which means this is possibly a halfway through the head. So when a head started building at 10:40, and then 11:40 we had, so probably by 12:30 lunchtime period of New York time, somewhere in that area. As usually in the past, as I watch the market, it usually makes it some kind of a move. So we're suspecting possibly at lunch hour it to start breaking down, coming down to the shoulder, and start building off a shoulder. Some of you might ask, but when is the perfect entry time? If you enter right now, and let's say right at the top of the head, I would put in a stop limit at 32,000. Unfortunately, As I have seen in the past, market breakers can actually go in and do a big candle looking something like this. It's just a 3 second candle going up and down, taking those stop orders and putting you into whatever loss between here and the 3200 will be. So is that the smart way to do it? Not the smartest way, but it is a way that can be done. Option two is wait out for this head to build up, and when it comes down to the shoulder, most likely might have a little bounce. And I would actually enter into that bounce and then put myself a stop loss at 32,000. Yes, it's going to be a lot more significant loss, but otherwise, you're kind of preventing yourself in case of reversal. That's option two. And like you guys have seen, it is still trying to break through that 32. So there is that possibility. Possibility three is let it play out. As we start building out that shoulder and we come up, somewhat into the shoulder, and you start seeing this round up on the shoulder, enter in here, and then put a stop loss at the top of the shoulder. I have seen these kind of candles also trying to take out those stop losses, but they're not usually as common, even though with somewhat volume has slightly increased going up compared to going down. And again, it's barely noticeable volume. We might actually have that candle wig going up and trying to take that stop out. There isn't the best way unless you go in without a stop loss, and if you see a heavy reversal, you just cancel the trade and then go in the reverse like I did it last night. And then we'll take a ride. Ride possibly will be at least again at least to 30,700 this area. More possible is probably to 29.6. We will reconcile again here and then possibly try to break further if market makers believe that we need to break through this trend. If they're going to try to keep us within this trend, then we're probably going to end up somewhere at 28.8, 28.7, bouncing back, closing, and most likely repeating another day, going back into positive, and then kind of playing in this area for the next couple of days until something happens. Those are the possibilities. Um, as I always watched, we actually went quite a bit high here, and as long as the plan is to stay in this tunnel, then we are due to come down. If we, let's say, come down to here to 30,800, 30,900, and we close that day, we might have another day of going up, and then that to having a reversal. Those are possibilities. So by coming down to this area, we might actually see what happens next. If we do come down to this area, because head is here, shoulder is here, this might be actually the stopping point, and then having another reversal, coming back again to 32,000, testing it again, and then reversing. For some reason, I feel might be most likely what will happen in the next 12 to 24 hours, 36, 48 hours about. So let's actually look at other coins, what they have actually done. As Bitcoin has taken a ride 7% to the top, Doge went 17%, uh, DGB went 9%, ZIL went 10.5%, VAT almost 16%, XML 6%. Matic actually outperformed everybody. I do not have a trend made out for Matic, but it actually had a quite a pump, as we can see. If you look at the 15-minute candle, quite a pump. It is rounding off the head. The head does looks like almost a head of um, I would want to say some kind of a bird on a 1 minute candle, and we are having a small shoulder and bigger shoulder right here, which will continue again, possibly to the area of 78 cents. We did have one of the reasons why we did went up is because of this big W on some coins. We can see that very well, and that did force a run to the top. Some people say, but the XLM was the first and actually win, and everybody followed. Let's look at XLM. It still stayed within the area. We did have here this cross-looking candle, which indicates a reversal in a daily chart. Due to because this candle was here, a lot of day traders actually went in to longs. That's one reason why it pushed earlier than the rest coins did. It also created this big W indicating that push up, and we actually have pushed up quite a bit. And we still have here head and shoulder upside down. And as we were coming up to the top, we started having head and shoulder this way. So this is an indicator of slowdown and most likely a reversal as we move on further into the trade. There's also an M right here for those that understand what M means. It is a reversal candle. We will be reversing, and there's another small M right there. Uh, Possibly a W here, which stating that we might be coming back to this area, and we also having another build out of that bigger M out here, which will most likely will be the force and the move, which will move this down. So what actually happened with Matic? Or I was actually looking at Matic. Matic it actually had a quite a low. It has came down to, I want to say, EMA of like 100 or 200. But again, that small M here, but a big W pushed it and gave it quite a bit of a growth. And I'm pretty sure we are also working on the same pattern, which will push it towards reverse. Let me see what just Bitcoin. Wow. As you guys remember, I was saying possible they'll send a wig up to take out the stop losses, and that's exactly what they did. and look at how far they actually went to take out the stop losses as people are preparing for a reversal. They went all the way up to 32,120, and they're still continuing. And as some of us believe this is a reversal, this might not be actually reversal. It might be a continuation. If this is a continuation to go into, as I mentioned, to 33,000, I would not jump into this trade until probably around 32,300, 32,400, 32,500. I'd rather go with a small ride to the top than jump into the trade and having the trade churn around 22,250, 22,300, and get caught in a reversal, which, hey, market makers might exactly try to make that happen, since a lot of people do believe that this will be reversal, but we'll be jumping on the long train and trying to take that liquidity away. So, good possibility we might need to set out until we start coming down to that shoulder, um, just to avoid getting caught in a fake out. So let's continue and look at what else has happened. And that's one of the reasons why I have here this alarm. So when it starts coming down, I can have enough of time to prepare if I wanted to get entered in the shoulder area going down. So, what happened with XRP and what is actually our possibility with XRP? We are within the trend. We are most likely building the head for reversal. This actually could be considered at the top of the head. At that point, it's hard to say until it's finished building out. And we most likely will come down to about 54.7 before we be able to tell where we're going to continue. Again, there is a possibility that we might pump to the area of 60.4 cents area. The possibility is not as big, but there is that possibility. YFI also pumped 11%. AAVE has pumped 13%. Uni has pumped 12%. Solo has pumped 14%. Yunfi 15%. Let's look at Yunfi. I have not looked at Yunfi. But as we can see, with Yunfi having big pumps is normal for them. They did actually recovered, or they actually bounced back low of 4.93, roughly about 4.9. Today's growth. With Yunfi, due to, if we take the trend build, probably from this kind of that draw the line, we do have quite a bit of growth if it decides to grow. But at the same time, we have this weird looking head, and the head already has been working on the reverse side. So we might be actually running ahead of the rest of the crowd, and it's ready to reverse, and it's going to come down to this weird looking shoulder. even though most likely shoulder is this, and not sure what this actually would be at that point. Let's look out at the larger picture. A W, another W, which we went up. Right now we have a M right here. Hard to say what it is. Looks like possibly a small W here, which we broke out, and right now we are continuing a reversal pattern from the W going down. So that's what it kind of what we see UNC again, as we see everywhere else. We have this, I want to say swan. We have this big body, and then that kind of a weird looking head on some of these. So that is, hey Eddie, how's it going? Sam, how's it going? Um, what else? One did 13.5%. Dot it did 14%. Bell did 11%. Sushi went 12%. That's about it. US dollar index dropped 0.19%. So that's all I can say. Um, I would like to. I would say we are most likely for a down, prepping for the down. There is a small possibility we might actually break out to the con- continuing to the top, and that is just because this candle has broken through 32, which easier if it continues pushing up, it's easier for it to go up than to come down if it gets any more continuous volume. But again, I personally think those were nothing more. As we can see, that's a solid candle. It's a red candle. This was nothing more than just to take out those stop losses. And then we will be reversing. That's at least the way I see this playing out. Blessings to all. Be smart, be wise with your money. Um, is the stop losses is the smart tool? I don't use them all the time, but I do use them, especially when I'm in a trade and I cannot babysit the trade. I'll use stop losses to protect my whatever I achieved at that point, as well as I'll use to take profits. I will also, at a certain point, I will take a 50 to 75% profit when it reaches a certain level, and then put a tight take profit stop loss at that point, so the system can finish off the trade for me. As I recently been waiting for the trade to come to me, is like I said, I will look what is building out, what is possibly to is is going to continue build out, and then I'll plan out and then wait to execute the plan as the market comes to where what targets I have set. If market for whatever reason changes any direction and goes down to what I predicted, I will recalculate, readjust my plan, and start waiting for the market to come to the new plan. I no longer jump into the trades unless it's obvious, like last night, that it started the pumping. When I seen that it's pumping, I sold. I waited for. I immediately set a goal where I want to enter. The market continue rising, so I executed my plan. And sometimes you do have to, put that plan together in 3, 5, 10 seconds because everything's moving too fast to plan. So, sometimes you kind of have, into your subconscious that plan already prepared in case it goes another direction. All you do is just have to extract it from your subconscious and kind of go with it. So, blessings to all. I wish every single one of you guys highly success. I will keep you guys posted as new things will develop, and wish you guys a fantastic day or night wherever you guys at. Take care.